So, tens of thousands of businesses are dead or dying. People are out of work. Children are becoming more and more food insecure or malnourished. Mental health is deteriorating on a national scale. Suicides are way up. Alcoholism, drug abuse, spousal abuse, all way up. Other illnesses being left untreated. People with otherwise treatable cancer or treatable cardiovascular diseases who are scared to death of going to the hospital die from something that was preventable because of the hysteria brought on by the media and probably their neighbors as well. The children who are now terrified to hug people in their families if they haven't been around them for any extended period of time. Who knows what kind of lasting scars that'll leave on their psyche. But no, none of that matters. In Canada, a restaurant owner was arrested for defying lockdown orders and defying a ban on indoor dining. Now, what's the reasoning for this? Well, of course, we hear that it's for public health, and if it saves one life, it's worth it. Even though I don't hear them concern themselves at all with all the things I just mentioned before. This is nonsense, and the people who say these types of things, that they're concerned with public health or if it saves one life, they don't really believe that at all. Despite the if it saves one life argument being terrible, we could flip it right back on them. And the lockdowns, because it will save far more lives, especially in the long run, than COVID was ever going to take. We're talking about a severe economic depression on our doorstep. Who knows what will happen to the suicide rate, and who knows what will happen because of the children that can't get access to food. That is far more dangerous than a disease with a 99.9+% survival rate. A disease where some good advice would suffice. I mean, hey, the vast majority of you will be fine. You probably won't even know it if you get it. And if you're over 70 years old, you're still likely going to be okay. But if you don't want to risk it, avoid crowds, eat well, exercise, take some vitamins to boost your immune system, sanitize your hands, don't touch your face, and it's highly probable that you'll be just fine. That advice could go a long way, but what advice do you give to someone whose child is losing weight because the parent just lost their job or can't find a job because all the businesses are shuttered up? If the police were as good at hauling in food than they are at hauling off people, I'd be less worried. But that obviously isn't the case. They need to take people like this away for public health, and if it saves one life, then it's worth it. That's sarcasm, by the way. Well, this is why that's nonsense. This is not about saving lives. This is about controlling people's lives, and I can prove it because there are too many things we don't do that could save lives. Banning pools at homes would immediately save the lives of several thousand children each year in the U.S. If someone tells you you're putting lives at risk for disobeying our politicians, just ask them if they've ever advocated for banning backyard swimming pools. If not, just ask them how many dead kids would it take for you to give up your fun in the sun. And banning backyard pools won't even have a drastic effect on the economy or the livelihoods of too many people. So there's some bonus points there. Or how about roughly 17,000 people dying each year from motor vehicle accidents? Now, I'm not going to ask why we don't ban driving. That's an absurd suggestion that would destroy far more lives than it would save, of course, right? The transportation of food, medicine, housing, materials, clothing, all of that would be destroyed. So banning driving is a terrible way to argue this point. However, most of these deaths occur within a few miles from people's homes. Why not a ban on driving anywhere within, let's say, 3 miles from your home? Unless you have a medical reason, of course. We want to be fair. This would have the added benefit of getting people out walking or biking more. It would be a positive for the health of nearly the entire nation. How many families need to be destroyed before these people advocate for laws like this? How many people needed to die from the flu? Right? It varies quite a bit, but it's been upwards to 60,000 people dying in the U.S. from the flu. Why did we hear nothing but silence from them then? How obvious does it need to be that the police and far too many citizens are simply sheep, being herded into hysteria and being patted on the back when they behave how the lawmakers want them to? They're certainly not behaving rationally or logically, and definitely not consistently. There's too many preventable deaths they've likely never even had a conversation about insofar as what to do about them. So I don't want to hear from them on how people like this business owner here are endangering the public health. They endanger far more people than COVID ever could by their continued support of these tyrannical politicians. They would bomb an orchard and point to one tree still standing while proclaiming they didn't do anything wrong because, hey, look at that tree. But that's all for now. Like and subscribe. Take it easy.